What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Panda here, and today we are playing Watcher of Realms. Guys, today I want to talk about some of the things that I want to come to the game. I know I've seen a lot of videos like this. I think I have an interesting perspective. Some of these things may be similar to that of other content creators. I have not watched all of their videos, so I apologize if I steal some of your ideas without knowing it. But I have a pretty decent understanding of where the game is at now, and I would really like to see some certain things come to the game. I know that we have a lot of things that are in the works to come to the game here soon, and I'm very excited to see those things get implemented, but there are some other things that I would really like to see come to the game as well. So let's just dive right in. First things first is I think we need to see a change in Arena. It doesn't feel very good. It doesn't feel like a lot of fun. You know, we come in here and we click auto and it just kind of does whatever it does. Of course, you could min max and you could drop your heroes every time and play, but it feels clunky. It's too slow in my opinion, and it also doesn't feel like I'm actually fighting my opponents. It just feels like I'm playing another PvE stage for someone else who's also playing a PvE stage. I don't know. It feels like there needs to be some kind of change in the arena game modes. I do believe that they've said that they are looking into it and they're thinking about possibly making some changes. I would be interested to see what those changes could potentially be, and maybe it will satisfy some of us who actually want to play the arena. I find myself not playing the arena as much as I should because it's just not as fun. Um, it's just not as fun, which I think is a sad thing to say, but also at the same time I kind of understand it to a degree. Um, while this arena battle finishes here, I'm probably going to end up losing, but while it finishes here, I'll go ahead and dive right into the next one, and that is in regards to stamina. Now, I know that this has been talked about a ton, don't get me wrong, I am aware, and I think that there are so many different things that they could change about the game when it comes to stamina that could be just amazing. I've heard several different options, and I think that there are several options that would work really well. One of the options that I personally think would be very good for the game would be a couple different things. Either A, adding in a stamina bank where you're able to accumulate stamina over the cap, and still generate stamina. I think this would be really good for your people who log in once a day or maybe log in every other day, and so they're not going to be completely destroyed by not, playing every so often. I think that's one thing that could be beneficial. The thing that I, however, think is more plausible and also has a better chance of happening is definitely in the form of taking stamina that we get that's raw. For example, in our idle rewards, get us 200 stamina, just make it a potion, guys. Make it a potion. I think this would be a really fantastic thing. It allows us to save that stamina for whatever purpose we may want to use it for in the future. Now, yes, some people will still just pop it right off the bat, and it's the same thing as what you have currently. But for those of us that want to save it for an experience booster or a gold booster or for an event that's coming up, it could be very, very good. Another option would be to have it be sent to the mail, right? Instead of when you pick up anything from there, it gets sent to the mail and you can claim it individually. That would be fine too. Either of those options I think would be great, and I would really love to see a little bit of a change there so that our stamina is not auto-collected into our current stamina bank. Okay, then we can go ahead and talk about what I think would be one of the greatest things that they could add to this game, which would be a quote-unquote hot time. If you've played any type of mobile game before, whether it be a gacha, an idle game, pretty much every type of mobile game has a hot time, and it's in one form or another. I think there are two different types of hot times that could work really well in this game. Maybe even three. We'll say three. I think three types of hot times now that I'm thinking about it. The first one would be in terms of more rewards for the same stamina. So you'd be able to go into a gear raid and say you go in here and you do gear raid and you're able to get one of two things. Either a double drop, so every time you get a single drop you would get 2, every time you get a double drop you would get 4, or maybe just an extra to 3, and you'd be able to just get more gear chances for the same amount of stamina. So instead of getting one piece of gear for 22, you're going to be getting 2 pieces of gear for 22, effectively halving the cost of stamina. Another option would be to have the cost of stamina. Make it go from 22 to 11 or from 36 down to 18 for things like experience rate. This would allow for us to get more runs in certain periods of the day or for several days over a period of time. And it would really, I think, cause for a lot of people to invest in your game monetarily, right? You're going to be getting a lot of people purchasing stamina backs in order to get, more effectiveness out of their stamina. You're also going to see a lot more gameplay during that time frame, because if you set this to specific days, people who maybe don't play all the time are going to be more incentivized to play on those days because their stamina will be more efficient. And then I think the other thing that could be really cool, that I don't think I've seen in any other game before, would be half-time generation on stamina. So currently right now, guys, we get 1 stamina every 3 minutes. What this would do is this would drop this down to 1 stamina every 1.5 minutes or every 1 minute. It would allow you to generate stamina at a quicker pace. I think this would be really nice because it would effectively double and or maybe even triple our stamina generation over a period of time. We did some math on my stream today about the quote-unquote free stamina that you get in the game, which included things such as your idle rewards. It included your base stamina, assuming you were starting the day with a full total stamina. We averaged that out to 280 because I think that's a fair number. We have a lot of people that are in their 70s and 80s, but we have a lot of people that are close to 60s or a little bit under 60s. I think 60 is the kind of the where everyone gets to relatively quickly, while as, beyond that, it slows down very, very quickly. And so because of that, I would say 280 is a nice flat stamina. Then you add in and you get, I want to say we got about 720 stamina a day or something along those lines. Oh no, it was actually 480 before. The 720 was with my suggestion that I'm giving now. So you're able to get, like, on average about 40 to 50 runs per day without spending any gems. That includes buying stamina potions in here, etc. That doesn't include also things like the stamina potions that you get for different quests, right? These little mini stamina potions, it doesn't include those. It doesn't include any of that kind of stuff. It's just your daily generation of stamina. And realistically, that's not a very large chunk of stamina. And so being able to have more will allow us to play the game more. It'll allow more people to be playing all the time, which helps with game analytics, etc. And I think that'd be something really cool to bring to the game because it allows for more interaction, more ability to play the game. The thing with stamina games, guys, is that you want to play, and if you don't have stamina, or you don't have game modes that don't require stamina, or you don't have gems, you can't play the game, and that feels bad. So I definitely think that would be a very good potential use for an interesting hot time type of reward. So the other thing, which I know that we are already getting, is gear swapping. But something that I would like to see come to the game is kind of sort of a gear preset, except you can do it for full teams. And what I mean by that is I swap my gear all the time. Now, the last thing that I did was a gear raid 3, which means I know that my gear raid 3 team's going to work. But sometimes I'll be like, you know what, I need to go farm gear raid 1, and I'll go in, and I know I'm going to lose because none of my magic dealers are equipped with gear, or at least not the correct gear, and that becomes very difficult. So I know that we're going to have the ability to swap. I could take my Cetrum's gear and put it onto Hotset, or I could take my Hotset gear and put it onto Vortex, whatever the case is. I know we're going to get that ability. But what I really like to see is you be able to save the gear for these pieces, for these different areas. If I go into Gear Raid 1, I'd like to be able to equip all of my people with the gear that they were wearing when I did the run. I think that would be really cool. Even give it a little bit of a gold cost. I would be fine with that. I think that it'd be something that's really good. You have it in your game that you'd be able to use your gear on various different champions to be able to do various different content. I think it would be really beneficial for us to be able to do this. The same thing kind of goes with GVG, right? If I go into GVG and I look at my garrison, I'm down here, I click here, I have all these champions. Well, guys, guess what? My Livian's not currently equipped with gear. My Volka's not currently equipped with gear. My Abomination and my Wrath are not currently equipped with gear. If I forget to equip my gear when the actual wars are going on, or I take this gear off, my garrison team is going to be a lot weaker than it could be if I had all that gear equipped. So if we're able to lock in those pieces of gear at the time of saving, that would be very beneficial to allow us to be able to move our gear from place to place as we, do whatever we're doing throughout the day. I think that kind of covers the main things that I kind of had on my mind about, things that I really love to see the game bring. The only thing that I want to say is a sort of last minute mention. And the reason it's a last minute mention is because this is something I have heard kind of all over the place, and that is a 2x for epics. So currently, right now, we have a 2x only for legendaries, and I'd really like to see a 2x for epics. I think that's really important because there are a lot of epics that are very important. For example, Vortex is very important for a lot of early game players. He's one of the best healers in the game, definitely the best epic healer in the game, right? Same thing goes with, Idril and Dolores and Deimos, and Maul is also very, very good, right? There are a lot of these 4 stars that are very, very good. Laurel, right? Hollow. And currently at the moment, we don't have it 2x for that. And so it becomes very difficult for us to be able to get those pulls when, we're lessing the chance during a 2x of getting the units that we want. So I think that would be a really cool thing. It's just kind of just, like I said, a last minute thing because, I've heard a lot of people already talk about this, but I also wanted to include it in my video because I think it's something that needs repeating. The more times we say it, the more times it gets mentioned, the better chance we have of something happening. So guys, leave a comment down below about what's something that you'd really like to see come to the game. If it's something that I mentioned, let me know. That'd be really cool. Maybe someone in another video mentioned it. Let me know what they mentioned in their video. And also, if you like this video, make sure to hit that like button. And if you want to see more content from me in the future, please make sure to hit that subscribe button. And I will see you in the next one. Peace.